Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Welcome to a special episode of the FusionCast. Today is kind of a virtual executive briefing to talk about some collaboration work we've been doing lately with the Data and AI team. So I'm very pleased to be joined today by Denis Kennelly, a familiar face to most of our team, GM of the storage brand worldwide. Denis, thanks for joining. We're also very happy to be joined today by Steve Astorino, who's VP of Development in the Data and AI group. And also the manager of the Canada Research Lab. So Steve, thanks for taking some time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
As I was telling Steve earlier, as an expat Canadian, I'm psyched to be having more of my fellow countrymen on these webcasts lately. It's good stuff. So let's get right into it. Denis, I'm going to start with you. We've been working very closely over the last few months with the Data and AI team, specifically targeting a couple of opportunities. watsonx.data is an obvious one that we've been talking a lot about, as well as Db2WH. There was and is coming some announcements around lifecycle for the Db2WH Sailfish appliance, and there are some customers that are looking for ways forward that we're working very closely to help them with. Can you talk a little bit about the collaboration so far?
Yeah, I mean, we've been working very closely with Steve's team and really thankful for that collaboration. And I suppose I mean, a lot of you know what's going on with Fusion right now, the journey we've been on. We started out, way back when, right? Building out a hyper-converged appliance for OpenShift. That was kind of the mantra. What have we learned along the way, right? OpenShift, getting that deployed, kind of, okay, where it gets really tricky is where you get data-intensive applications. And you start to worry about things, high availability, DR, backup, right? And we've, through that journey, and even before we get to some of the things you're talking about, Randy, right? We've worked very closely with Steve in the field and his team with things like Cloud Pak for Data. Verizon, I'll talk about Verizon, right? So they have a very large Cloud Pak for Data appliance, data deployment, sorry. And they were running into problems like, how do we back this thing up, right? These are large environments all running on OpenShift and on containers, and how do we actually keep moving forward? We work directly with Steve's team and Verizon, and now I'm delighted to say that they're using Fusion, HCI Fusion with Cloud Pak for Data in production, and we're solving that problem, and they're starting to move forward. We're not, a lot more to do there, but that's an example of that. So that's kind of where it started from, right, with things like that. Now, as we start to look forward and start to look at things like watsonx.data, we can see as people start to get ready to tune and bring these models into their environment, right? What's the problems that they're facing? Number one is there's just so much data, right? And data continues to grow. That's the wonderful thing about storage and the businesses we're in, right? It's probably going to grow 5 times in the next, 3 to 4 years. But it's all over the place in different locations. It's in different formats. It's either structured or unstructured. And, people spend way too much time crawling through data to get it ready to do things like analytics and obviously to do tuning of models. That's why the foundation of a lot of, pardon the pun, of a lot of the conversations we've had with Steve's team to actually take that and use Fusion as part of that enablement function, kind of like back to the Verizon use case, and working very closely across the engineering teams and putting together joint offerings, which we are on the cusp of announcing right now.
Yeah, that's awesome. And I'll just put in a quick plug that Verizon's actually going to be co-presenting with us at the KubeCon event in Chicago next month, which is really exciting because it's not easy getting these large accounts like Verizon to engage at that level. So we are really psyched about that too. So Steve,
put another plug in back. We had our BPAC for storage there at Tech Exchange.
Right.
Tech Exchange was a couple of weeks ago, and the Verizon guys were there, right? And they were really, really, excited, thankful, whatever, right, on the work we've done together there.
That's fantastic. So, Steve, first of all, thanks to you and your team for collaborating with us on these major accounts like Verizon. It's great for IBM as a company, of course. Talk a little bit about what you see as the role of data and AI and your team in particular going forward as we continue to collaborate in the field.
Yeah, sounds good. And maybe just to touch up on Verizon. So Verizon is actually the biggest Cloud Pak for Data deployment that we have right now. And they just doubled their environment and they plan to double it again next year. So it's very exciting for us to be working together on this client. A lot of positives. So Yeah, in terms of data and AI and where we see, first of all, to me, this is a logical fit, right? We have a lot of capabilities in the data space, whether it's watsonx.data, DB2, Netezza, Cloud Pak for Data. All of these things require, a storage solution, which gives us a boost in terms of both the capability and the performance. I think that's a big deal. In the data space, performance has always been one of the key attributes that everyone looks at and picks at it for a long time and tries to squeeze the best performance out of it as possible. So for us, this is logical. It's a great partnership, and it brings a lot of value to clients, and getting a better performance right out of the box is a huge deal, and it's a big differentiator for us. So we're going to continue to focus on this.
And speaking of performance, I'll put a link somewhere on the screen here in post. We did a recording. We did one of these last week with Joshua Kim from your PM team, where he highlighted some of the performance hero numbers they're getting out of POCs, and they're pretty remarkable, actually, working with HCI. So really, really good stuff.
If you're not going to say them, I'll say them. We're seeing 3 to 5 times X, so it's amazing.
Well, he actually mentioned the one we did internally for the CIO's office, where we migrated off of Starburst onto watsonx.data with HCI, got a 90x performance improvement. So I mean,
it's unbelievable. 100%.
It's pretty remarkable. So this is great. It's really exciting. I think those of us who've been around long enough know that it's not always easy necessarily to collaborate internally across brands at IBM. But this is a great example of where we're coming together in the field, addressing customer problems. Verizon's a perfect, object lesson in that. We're seeing lots of other opportunities, Citi, other customers, and these are big strategic customers, right? So this is a great opportunity for us to really put our best foot forward collectively. Denis, give me some final thoughts in terms of like a call to action, or what you want our sellers and partners to be talking about, and how you want them to be engaging with their customers on this great opportunity.
Well, I think we want to extend the collaboration. I think, Randy, this collaboration happened. I'm going to point to 2 people, and I'm probably going to piss off, sorry for my language, a whole bunch of other people, right? But, Vincent too and Vikram, right? They kind of started, doing some testing, and voila, right? And that 90x thing, I'm very familiar, right? Where we're querying data across the world, right? Yeah. But that was kind of ground up collaboration. Wasn't Steve or I kind of sat down and said, let's bang heads together, right? They realized that, if we put these things together, we are better together, right? And we use that word a lot within IBM, right? If we could do this more often, we are much better together, right? So I think the call to action is, let's extend the collaboration outside the 4 walls of kind of product, right? We are seeing it in pockets, right? In Verizon, et cetera, right? Where we're seeing teams work together, right? We just need to see that everywhere, right? And literally, this is a prime example of better together, right? There's something in it for both sides. And of course, the real benefactor is the customer, right? Where they actually see the value of us coming together, right? So my call to action is, any Cloud Pak for Data, any DB2 warehouse, any data conversation, right? Any AI conversation, because what I was saying at the start, right? This is the first problem everybody's running into. Where is the data, right? And getting access to the data. Then they start to query it, pull it, and whatever. You either end up copying it all over the place, or you have performance issues. And this solution helps solve some of those problems. So really, if there's an opportunity, no matter where it is in the planet, right, just look across the aisle, either the storage guy or gal, or the data and AI guy and gal, and come together, because you will be much better together.
Awesome. So if your customer has data and they like performance, it's a good opportunity for us. Steve, how about you? What's your message for data and AI sellers?
Yeah, so I would echo that, what Denis said. Here's the way I see it, right? We either solve these problems in-house when we talk about bringing technology to our clients, and we integrate it and we do the work ourselves, or we pass those problems to our clients. And, to me, that's why it's a no-brainer for us to collaborate and making sure that we're addressing these issues. Any work that needs to be done in terms of integration, we do it in advance. So to me, again, it's a no-brainer, and I do want to make sure that we keep doing that, and we're doing that across the board. The message to the field. Let me give another example before I even go there. I'll just spend a minute here. Think of, because it's not just about the data per se, it's about the use cases on top of it as well. Think of watsonx and watsonx.governance. Here's the way we're bringing it to market and what we're telling our clients. If you have your models built out, that data needs to be coming from somewhere. And then at some point, the larger the enterprise, the more you're going to get audited on how you derived to those answers or decisions that you made in that throughout that AI process. The only way to be able to provide that level of transparency and explainability is to leverage something like watsonx.data. In watsonx.data, we have a time series capability, time machine type of capability, where if I'm getting audited in 12 months from today when I built the model, I need to be able to point to that data that as it existed at the time that I trained the model.
Yeah. Chain of custody.
So critical. And that's how it all fits in together, right? So it's another example. It's not just about storing data. It's about the use cases on top of it. So the call to action for me is, don't work in silos. Call us. Let us know what's going on. We're here to help. We have a lot of other clients we're working in. We can answer questions. We can provide help and support. Let's win it together. I mean, that's the way we do it. And so, don't hesitate to reach out. We're here to help.
Awesome. And if we don't, the competitors will. So don't let that happen either.
Exactly.
Awesome. So this was a great discussion. Steve, Denis, thank you so much for your time. I know you guys are both running a million miles an hour, so I appreciate you taking a few minutes to talk to the field and talk to our teams. Great discussion. Again, everyone, thanks for watching. Hopefully this was helpful. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to me or any of us. We will put you in touch with the right people. Lock hands with your brethren across the aisle, whether it's your data and AI or storage seller or partner or whomever. Let's work together to go tackle these opportunities, because this is the future. This is where our entire industry is going. And we have an opportunity to stake out a really strong leadership position. So let's do that. Steve, Denis, thanks again. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll talk again next week. Thank you.
Thank you.